Hi, thank you all so much for coming this morning. I'm sorry I couldn't be there myself personally, but my heart's there, my broken heart. I loved my dad very, very much, and I tried very, very hard over the last 53 years to honor him in every which way I could. He was taken suddenly, way, way too soon for me personally, and for many, many of you and our family and the entire Houston Jewish community. He had many, many more years left to go. We all miss him very, very much. I was very, very close with my father. I spoke to him daily for many, many years. He's somebody that I looked forward to speaking with every single day and getting some words of advice and a lot of humor. He was somebody who may not have spoken very, very much to a lot of people, but he accomplished an awful lot. He's somebody that I looked to for advice and wisdom and life experience, especially when it came to dealing with my mom. He had a very, very good sense of humor, and I could just think of many, many stories that would occur and happen throughout my lifetime that you just didn't expect it. He rolled with the punches, and he always told me just to do as much as I could, and that's all Hashem expects of us. Always have a good name, be honest, because you only get one chance. And I tried to live up to his expectations as well as to my mom's, and try to make them proud. We miss him very, very much, as I mentioned before. I know it's been mentioned before, if not today, in the past, and mentioned in the papers, the incredible amount of desire and ambition of growth for the Houston Jewish community. There were no bounds to what they felt, my parents, that they could do for the Houston Jewish community. They wanted it to just keep growing and growing and be on the map. I remember growing up, when I'd look at the calendar back in the early 70s, the little Jewish calendar that we had in the chapel, it didn't even have the Houston candle lighting times. But now, you can look anywhere on any calendar and you'll usually find Houston. It's on the map, thank God. And I feel it's really just a tremendous tribute to my parents and the other members in the community that strived really hard to, first with the shul, getting the mechitza in there finally, Baruch Hashem, and my dad was on the board for many years, and I know that was really just so that my mom could give my dad some advice and they could work together to scheme and make things happen, so that eventually the microphone was taken out as well as a mechitza was put up. They were a dynamic duo, and they definitely left a tremendous legacy, and there are no people prouder of Houston than my parents. And I would come in from wherever I was, and they would drive me by the academy to see how it had grown, and they were just so proud of everything that had come along, whether it was a seed program that they started with little seedlings. Little yeshiva guys would come down during some summers, and now Baruch Hashem, you have a kollel that's thriving. I'd look in the Jewish Herald Voice, and I would see a couple of minyanim in Houston. We'd have Chabad, thank God, and we would have UOS, and then they have the Meyerland minyan, and then it was, Beit Rambam, but it was just a handful of Orthodox shuls, the Young Israel, of course. Now, thank God, you can open up that Jewish Herald Voice in Houston, and you'll see many Orthodox minyanim around town. Wow, what a tremendous chus they have for helping with the first ones. They sent all of us away to yeshivas so that we would continue to be religious and know everything about Judaism, and they sent us so that we would go and come back and tell them some more things. I always found it funny that my sister Nechama, when she went to school, she left as Naomi, but when she came back, she was Nechama. And Ruvain was Randy, came back as Ruvain, now he's Rabbi Ruvain. You better call him that or you'll be in a heap of trouble. But my parents had a lot of nachas in the fact that their children had gone on to live in different communities. My parents had a lot of nachas in the fact that they sent their kids off to different yeshivas. I went to Baltimore, my brothers went to Memphis, my sisters went to Denver, and my baby sister went to New York, so that we could come back and continue, since there was no high school at the time, and be able to educate them a little further. Of course, schlep some suitcases or whatever would need be, some kosher products, even if it was just maybe a couple dollars less than Houston. That was never a problem for my mom. And I just remember, my mom always taking stuff to Israel, and I'd say, Mom, why don't you just open up a store, have where people can drop all these bags off there? But that wasn't good enough. She wanted every single penny. They both did. They wanted every single penny of that tzedakah to go straight to the people that need it in Israel and all the needy. And that's why when many of y'all know, now it's safe to come to shul because you don't have to worry about anybody asking you if you're going to Israel, that you should be able to, that they should be able to send these suitcases off to Israel, and it would really help the needy. She didn't want the expense of a monthly storage fee, any other expenses, gas and electric, etc. So that our home over time just became a big mitzvah. And I also feel very strongly, as my brother-in-law Zev wrote an article years ago, that there has never been any flooding in our home in Houston. And the reason I feel is because they had the mikveh there. And the kedusha of the mikveh, I feel Hashem gave it extra protection. The fact that they would have a mikveh in their home and do everything they could to do mitzvahs was an added protection aside from the mezuzahs. But they're tremendous people, and my father especially, being my mom's sidekick in a quiet way, was able to work together and do as much as they could to instill and continue with Jewish life in Houston and put it on the map. And Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, as my mom would say multiple times, and I'd say, Mom, just say it once. She'd say, no, I can't. They had so much nachas that just one time would be enough to thank God for what they have. But thank you all very, very much. Thank you to the community. Thank you to Jeff Klein, Rabbi Gelman, and everybody else who's made this all possible. We can't thank you enough. And I know that my parents are in Shemayim and doing everything they can to help the community here as well as throughout the world. I'm sure my mom has got a lot of missions for Hashem to do, and she's in his ear telling him what he can do and it behooves him to do this or do that, and he should persevere. And we just want to make them proud. We love you all so much. Thank you all for being here.